I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Well, good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Appreciate everybody changing their plans a little bit to be here. We have an active elevator here.
Working there. Real elevator there too.
Jamie, this meeting was appropriately announced.
Yes, Chairman has.
Can I get a roll call, commissioners?
Commissioner Davis.
Present.
Wise.
Here.
Fisher. Grillo.
Here.
Parikh.
Here.
Rios.
Here.
Roberts. Scott.
Here.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Steve. We have our minutes from the May 14th, 2026 meeting. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those? And are there any questions or need for any edits? If not, I'll take a motion to accept.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Wise.
Yes.
Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
If it's okay, we'll diverge a little bit in the meeting as we have a focus on Riverton here this evening. Are you guys prepared to present?
Like I'm back in chemistry class. Well, hi, everyone. I am Jennifer Phillips Smith. I am here for Matthews Gibbons on behalf of SERA Associates for the School. And we are here in the context of seeking your permission to advance an application to plan. This specifically has to do with alterations to the Bass Pro site. Two alterations. First, you'll hear it, the Bass Pro has requested at this stage to have a more grand entrance to the building.
Jen, hold on a second. Are you good?
This one. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we want to make sure the recording is done.
Bass Pro was asked to have a more grand entrance to the building and a large portico that'll be at the front entrance. We have a picture that'll show you what we think it would look like. And the second alteration that you'll hear about this evening is relocation of the cold storage area. So when we first got our site plan approval, and the second site plan approval, back in 2019 and 2020, we identified an area to store boats that was on a remote part of the site, pretty far away from the building. And now that we're getting ready to open and merchandise the building, and now that boats have become an increasingly important part of Bass Pro's retail footprint, they have suggested that we have agreed that a boat storage room will be close. So it's now slated to be at the opposite end of the parking lot from where it was previously approved. So there's where the planning boards figure out the boats that over. So that's more about it. Give just a short update on construction, but I'm sure all of you have been driving past it, see the building and how it's been progressing. And also talk about the portico and then get a bunch of cars and provide a little bit more information on the real estate.
Chairman, Executive Director, board members, and professionals, thank you for accommodating us. We're at a really critical point on the project, one that's very exciting. The part of Kevin Polson, they'll close to the finish line to deliver this world-class building for SERA. So we're really pumped up about it. Just to give us a little perspective, this is the third, fourth amendment to the Bass Pro building. That you could probably tell by now, we're used to dealing with a very excitable and very imaginative partner, Bass Pro. They'll particularly Johnny Morris. I can, Jenny mentioned the first these two enhancements that we're looking for the board to consider this evening. Like those that preceded it, those embellishments and enhancements to the building, in my opinion, they represent continual, I see it, working with their design team every day. It's a continual owning and an intentional shaping of the facility, create a high aesthetic and wow factor that we all want to do this project. I cannot tell you that this will be the last time that Bass Pro asks us to enhance the building, or that we'll be here for a modification, but I can tell you that we're very close to delivering the building. So with that, a quick update on construction. My notes here. As the landlord, SSA is responsible to build the warm shell for the building, $58 billion investment target soft cost. We're 92% complete. And the building, all the MEP systems are functioning, which allowed Bass Pro to start their interior work back in September. Parking lot and the site work, those of you drive over the bridge and you see everything unfold in front of you, you know where we're going here. That is all complete. The last thing we need to do in the site, in the parking lot and the landscape area in front of the store is we'll do the final paving and base coat course in. And just like the last thing you do inside of the building, is carpeting and flooring, we'll do that paving right before the to be later this fall. The internal roads and the traffic signals and the site work are complete. What's left to do again is the final pave and the striping, which will be this fall on those internal roads. Again, most importantly, I kind of skipped over is traffic signalization, all being installed and commissioned. It's a fairly involved process, many of you know. In terms of the tenant and Bass Pro, what they're doing inside the building, what remains at this point is predominantly the wall and floor finishes. And they're also, at this point in time, making heavy progress, strong progress, I should say, on the marquee aquarium and the marine life center. With that, many of you may or may not know Bass Pro is now in hiring mode. So we just learned that earlier this week. In fact, I drove in on Monday and there were two banners on the fence separating the Riverton property from the Turnpike Authority. There were two banners that we had no idea they were going to install. But they did install them. So I may take some heat from the Turnpike Authority. Really supposed to give them some heads up, but good news is that they're hiring and this is a good sign. Further commitment in addition to the capital they expect. So let's turn our attention to the proposed portico. Actually, before that, is there any questions about progress that we're making in construction development there?
Is opening still September timeframe?
Fall of this year. Okay, the portico. What I've done, and you have this handout here. This is a good illustration of the scale of what we're talking about, which is not the size of the portico is something that's very important. The building is 200,000 square feet, and you would see on your handout this rather small existing. This is an existing appendage to the building, more like an awning. It's about 240 square feet. But what they're adding is a standalone. They're going to leave the awning area, and they're going to add this approximately 1,500 square foot portico, standalone, not enclosed, no air conditioning, kind of sprinklers. It's really just a welcome center. Rendering here, a lot more powerful. So just for comparison's sake, the 2022 roof projection, again, that covered 240 square feet. It extended about 10 feet from the face of the building. The clear height, it was 10'3". The ridge line was a little bit higher at 18. And the width was 23 feet, 9 inches. You can see it's to some degree underneath of the new portico. And there was a ribbon banner similar to this that was approved in the past. In our last submission, it was about 170 square feet. The new design is a freestanding 1,406 square foot of roof area. When you add the eaves, that's how you get up to 1,500 square feet. It extends 36 feet from the face of the existing awning structure. The height is higher, of course, 18 feet clear to here, and the apex at the ridge line is 24 feet and 6 inches. Covered width is 36 feet, being some built here, and the ribbon banner naturally will be larger than the original 170 square feet. It's now projected to be 260 square feet. The banner, I think that tells you all you need to know about the type of people that we're going to be welcoming to Sayreville here. Welcome to the greatest American outdoor store. This is the way they think. This is the ethos that they have with not just their employees, but the residents of Sayreville. So, listeners, any questions on that? On the portico? If not, we'll turn over to Dan. Talk about the boat storage area. Okay, thank you.
Right. Good evening, I'm David Bush. We're here a few times, so I appreciate you, give me a couple minutes here, just kind of walk through what we're doing with the folks here. So, here on the right-hand side, this is the original 2019 approved Riverton Village Phase 1 plan. These are all just the various portions of the site that are approved. Back here, in the lower left, south right corner, was our wet pond, and immediately adjacent to that, we had a acre and a half fenced in area that was taken in for that. Right now, this area is under active construction. There's no utilities back here. There's no paved roads to back here. This is a highly active construction area. So there's really no way to put a boat storage area back here at this point. So it's part of the requirement to open Bass Pro to have a boat storage area. So we needed to look at alternate locations where we had utilities, number one, and then access. So the location that makes the most sense. So this is Bass Pro Drive to the Riverton Cross. The Bass Pro store will be basically the extension of Riverton Crossing to the north provides access. This is about an acre and a quarter area north of the Bass Pro out parcel. That's a portion of the boat storage area. And then this little triangular piece, which is also part of the Bass Pro lot, is about a third of an acre. Is the other portion of the boat storage area. So we have direct access from the existing paved road, running into the north area, existing access from Bass Pro Drive, an internal already paved driveway. This signal exists. So we have good access. We already have our utilities here. So we're going to run a water line up basically along the sheet pile wall along the parkway, the utilities, and we have a series of lights, the same exact lights that are within the Bass Pro parking lot. Same fence, the same, if you've been out there recently, there's a 6-foot high chain link fence on that parkway now. That would be the same type of fence we've had around the boat storage area. Gated access to both areas, and then one is just that just add the AMP across here on the north side of the intersection to close it off so the public can't get north. And then along the south side here, so on the very north end of the Bass Pro parking lot, they have a tree bump. So we're gonna add some trees along here. So the public that would be coming to the site, that would be coming to Bass Pro, is not gonna be able to see, or at least it would be a filtered screen. And then from the outside. From the outside, that is what you would see. So as you're coming down. Get the exit 125, literally the boat storage area would be on the other side of these trees. So you're not gonna see it at all. Even from the top of the bridge, it's tucked way in close to the parkway behind these trees. You're not gonna see it. Awesome. So, well screened, it's in a great location to service the site. Questions have been answering?
Questions, Aaron? Justin, any comments? I know you've been working with.
Yeah, so as Dan said, I recommended the gate across. I was worried about the public access because typically for a road, you need a 30-foot width and sidewalk. But I was assured that this isn't going to really be a public road. This will be more of a private access for the employees only. Not any customer can walk in and look at these boats. You need to get the Bass Pro employee to either bring you there or they'll go there themselves. It'll be lit. They said they're going to add some landscaping. And the location makes sense. It's closer to the Bass Pro shop. Like Mark said, there's active construction. We aren't supporting it.
Dan, with its location, are there also going to be, security measures as far?
Yes, I can't say exactly what kind of cameras, that kind of stuff, but it is this is a far better location for security purposes, because obviously you're gonna have, activity in the area, so, obviously the other reasonable lighting.
One other discussion we have is this may be a temporary boat service access as the Riverton development continues. They might want to continue that road further. So in the future, they may relocate, but for now, this location makes sense.
Yeah, and there's an option in the lease agreement. With Riverton to be.
It's important that everybody realizes, because in order to go through and continue the master plan road, okay, it would go through the corner of that site. So when it's time to go through and get into the next section, it's going to be important to be able to put that roadway. So your approval's really got to say it's temporary.
I have a road
That-
question.
Is that included in the resolution, Mike? Is that?
It's more of a planning board issue here. We're just recommending that the planning board.
Okay.
And this might be more a municipal issue, but when you're coming up Chevalier, right, if you come off the Route 9 South, coming off Route 9 South, and to make the left onto the Main Street extension, it's 2 turning lanes left and 1 straight lane. Right? What I'm explaining is correct?
You're talking from Riverton Boulevard to make a left onto the Main Street. is that-
Correct.
No,
You have to make a left on
coming from Route 9, off Route 9, you make a right turn on
It's no Riverton
Right.
Boulevard, Chevalier.
It's still
Chevalier and then make a.
So it's 2 lanes turning left, 1 lane going straight into the property. I don't know how many of you do it during rush hour, but I do it. Today, I could tell you 4 cars in 1 light cycle went up the straight lane to make the left turn. The problem is there's only 2 lanes to turn into. So you then have to ride along the shoulder in front of the church and then cut somebody off to get in. That's without Bass Pro Shop open. Secondly, I've noticed a couple of times people come down through the toll gantry. They're coming down Parkway South. They realize they need to go back north. They make a left turn, but it's almost like a hairpin, which I can't imagine is legal. But it's so dangerous because there's oncoming traffic from the extension heading north. So they're trying to make a left turn hairpin into oncoming traffic that may or may not see them. And if it's this chaotic before this opens, I think we need to have enforcement. I've written to the business administrator, the chief of police 3 times. No one's given me a response. But also I think traffic bollards would make sense to really make sure that people are honoring their lane designation. Because we're gonna have somebody, it's gonna cut someone off making that left turn, there's gonna be an accident, and it's gonna be then traffic chaos.
David, that would be something that would have to be facilitated through the county.
Through the county, and also we have to go through and see what the limits of the turnpikes jurisdiction is. So it's somewhat complicated, but those are things that we can go through and check out. From the standpoint of somebody turning left when they're coming off, that's idiotic. You got nuts to go through.
I didn't say I did. But maybe that's another location where there does need to be traffic bollards put up so that you can make that turn.
I think our discussion's a little bit off balance here because we've not yet activated that intersection. In fact, there's 2 through lanes and 2 left turn lanes.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be done.
But I don't think that solves the problem. So I appreciate that, but it still doesn't mean that the person in that straight lane can't turn left. That's the problem I'm trying to alleviate.
Police officers sit there and pick it.
Well, I've asked the chief of police 3 times. Now, if it was an old chief of police, he would answer.
The chief's not here.
I mean,
Police-
police
very good.
officers sitting there ticketing is not gonna be the solution because they can't be sitting there all day. The problem is, yes, that turning lane, a lot of people misunderstand for whatever reason. What I see is that you're right, they end up in a church lane like a side,
They end up on the shoulder.
shoulder and then come trying to, or the first lane even try to go, end up in a second lane. This is engineering,
But
not a police
I
issue.
hate to beat a dead horse on it, but if we're talking about a world-class building, we've heard about all this ethos of getting it right. I think the entrance traffic should probably make sense. We've only been at it for 20 years. I think we could get this aspect of it right. And it's just frustrating to me because It's such a basic thing.
I think to Mark's point, the timing will be adjusted and that will help.
Right.
They've done traffic studies.
Right.
Yeah,
there'll be
the
more
right
to
thing
see
and the timing.
to take you across that intersection. There's some timing of the traffic light.
I mean, you could have said the same thing with Parkway North, right, that drops out across from Peter Fisher Boulevard until 2 weeks ago when we activated that whole intersection. All the new striping, destination, all of it. I mean, this is an important thing, traffic. There's elements of it that are outside of Riverton and even outside of the borough of Sayreville's control, the lines of the jurisdiction that the turnpike is responsible for. It impacts what we're discussing, so I'm not saying that this is not important, but for getting back to the original reason that we're here, I don't know that it has a bearing on this approval.
Mr. Chairman, let me just recommend, because the commissioner has made a recommendation that something be done. Recommend that we meet with Mark and with Dan, their engineers, to go over what possibilities there are and to review the intersection. And then we can report back to you at the next meeting. But Mark's right, it has nothing to do with approval that we're acting upon tonight, but we should address.
We have good working relationships, you do also take with
Yeah.
the Turnpike Authority, they must be at that table. So
Yeah, but I think we have to go through and meet first, okay,
Sir,
to determine whether we have a plan that should change something or whether we can tweak the plan that we have.
That's fair.
Before we go to the Turnpike Authority, we have to know what we want.
this just to underscore how we look at things like this, usually we look at things like this. Before we got here, the slip ramp off of that, the southbound 125 exit, that was promoting high-speed exits onto Riverton Boulevard. We eliminated that with the turnpike. We're all about safety, but you are as well. We've already made some improvements. Happy to continue to make sure that works.
Just like Bass Pro making all this improvement, making it better. We gotta do the same thing. Good.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have the boat storage area, that's gonna be an open lot, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
A plot, no striping, just a plot.
And would there be any, like winterizing boats and things done in that, area?
As I understand it, this is for inventory, there's a boat service area that's in the back of the store where all that boat service and
Right.
work would be done, so I don't envision that.
It's an open lot
It's an open lot.
for the storage, for the
And
inventory.
yeah, it's essentially that.
Temporary. You'll communicate with the planning board or
Yes.
engineer.
Anything else from you?
Sounds like a better spot too, because if anybody's interested in purchasing a boat. And it's in the lot, they can go over and look at the boat instead of going all the way in the back.
Now, Mike, we have a resolution that goes along with this, correct?
Yes.
You have to, if there's any explanation, because rather than have folks stick around, I'd like to just move to resolution.
Chairman, you control the order of the items. I have no other explanation than what we've heard tonight, and if you want to move it now, to make that motion.
All right, so we're gonna move down to 15. It's 2026 0616 resolution providing for holding private. I'm sorry,
Oh, wait a minute.
back up. It's 12, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, 12A, 2026 615 resolution approving amendment to Bass Pro site plan. Can I motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Wise.
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Freak,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Skrowski.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you both, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, on to our attorney's report. Mike, thanks for.
I had a good view tour of the third floor, which is kind of that.
But the elevator work, right?
The elevator worked.
It's a big deal in Sarah.
Yes, it is.
A brief update on the federal transportation grant that we're still plodding our way through. Speaking with our executive director, other professionals, the implementation of the grant in terms of getting everything in that the state and the feds need, and then the ongoing implementation of the grant is going to have a cost to it. That's okay, it's a $1.3 million grant. I did an analysis of what I thought the cost would be for us to do it. It's probably going to cost about $20,000 to do this. I said to Mancho, maybe we ought to talk to the borough's grant writer, see if they provide this service to municipalities and what they would charge. So we got a proposal in yesterday, otherwise I would have had it earlier. $12,000 was what they would charge. We would do it through the borough with the shared services agreement. They get everything in and done. They get the advertising done, materials that have to be done in multiple languages, and they run the RFP process to pick the planner and then maintain ongoing compliance with it. So my recommendation, I think, much is that at our next meeting, we approve that agreement. And again, it would be part of our reimbursement back to the borough through the shared services agreement. The other good thing is, and Manchu thought of this, we asked whether the $12,000 could be recovered and paid for out of the grant as opposed to our operating funds. The grant writer thinks there's a good chance we could do that. Not 100% guarantee, but a good chance we can take the $12,000 right out of the grant to pay for it.
We're gonna have to pay upfront, obviously. So we'll be covering the cost and then requesting reimbursement when the grant is finally formalized, then we have access to the funds.
That's my report, Tim.
Thank you. Any questions?
I just want to add to Mike's report. After many years, we successfully closed on the SERA to Economy Auto property. The closing took place on May 21st. Parcel A, that property is about 1.3 acres. It's next to the Economy Auto business. And SERA received a check, which Wayne received. So $167,722.48. And SSA received $97,247.72. And that was pursuant to a split letter that was negotiated many years ago. So we're done. We're done. And also, the parcel A deed notice was filed with the county clerk's office after a few years. So that's it.
We accomplished few things, huh?
And thanks for sticking to this one. It wasn't easy, either one of them, the deed notice or the closing.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Any questions? If not, move on to our engineer's report. Justin.
Mr. Chairman, Mark covered most of my Bass Pro updates, but on the gateway services side, a quick check curb and sidewalk has been installed. And Panera has gone vertical now, as I'm sure you all see as you drive through. And then from our previous meeting, we discussed sending a letter to Middlesex County regarding widening of Main Street. So I have a concept plan prepared. I have a letter prepared. I'm just waiting on the signed resolution and then I'll send that all over. And then I've had discussions with Middlesex County about the flashing lights on Main Street. They're open to it. They sent us an agreement that the borough needs to sign. I forwarded that over to them. So and they're in favor of it. So
We're talking about downtown, flashing red in downtown. Oh, good.
yes, the Main Street. Yep. That's my report.
Thank you. And what was the first issue we were talking about? I think I had a question.
Main Street widening.
Yeah, so just in conjunction with that, Mayor Council approved for your dad, as borough engineer, also coordinate with the county on that effort as well.
It's going to be a joint letter referencing both.
Questions, comments? Otherwise, we'll move on. Vina, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did we come up with a spec for the flashing lights for the downtown?
There's a standard spec that the county uses.
Because in Jersey City, they have it like, ever since we discussed it, I've noticed it. It's like, instead of always flashing, it's like you press it, then it flashes, and it kind of catches you, you know? It's always flashing, you're not gonna notice it. When it does flash,
It's,
we notice it.
yeah, it's not always flashing.
It's pedestrian activated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I finished the Toledo Power redevelopment plan. The only thing that is holding it up is the municipal or the community contributions, which we need to finalize with the in the plan, but otherwise I've done best as prepared better. So I'm ready once we finalize the contributions. Sunshine Vista plan is ready. I constantly you guys. That's done. Transit Village, which is on a very strict timeline, based on the fair housing center. I'm done with it, except for I'm the status. The building department information is quite basic. If I could get something stronger, it would be very helpful. But otherwise, I'm done with my study. So once I get the police data, I can actually proceed with that work on the hearing. So now I'm shifting my focus to continue redevelopment plan. I have not heard back from the owner of property at the corner of Blossom and the Street because I can start that along with Holston scientists. But the two major ones, which I've said still are done. The bar is done, transit village stuff. I need to focus also on the transit oriented development for buildings because that is a requirement again of the agreement of Fair Share Housing Center. I did have a meeting with equity planners because they had reached out to me on something else and I'm like, we need to team up to come up with a plan together. Because typically when it's a redevelopment study, I would just write a redevelopment ordinance, then that new district regulations become the ordinance. But in this case, because there are so many owners involved, I think it is best that we create an overlay till we have owners reaching out to us on the to redevelop. And especially because there is a township owned parking lot property and that is adjacent to NG Transit. I want to see how we can team up together and come up with a project. And I have a meeting scheduled with NG Transit next week for Woodbridge, but I intend to bring this out at the same meeting so that I get a feel of where they stand in working with the township. But there's a lot of progress. And I'm just waiting for guidance to tell me when I have to.
What do you need from the construction?
The construction official, I think the response they gave me was quite basic, saying, oh, we didn't see anything. I don't believe that area really looks heavy. So I want them to take a little more effort to see if I can get any full violations or anything that we moving out.
Zach, follow up with Zach, he's gonna take action item for that with the construction.
Because I wouldn't wind it up and go in front of the planning board, because unless I do that, I can't really start plan. But yes, I do want to start with the plan too. I think September 30th is the deadline for plan in place too. So I don't have too much.
Maybe conference call with the construction official to explain what we're looking for more in more detail. With your help.
You're looking for code violations of some of those sites, okay.
Then one more item, which is actually just because of the amount on the other side, I know that there's an application in front of Woodbridge Planning Board, which is a redevelopment plan. It is not on the municipal boundary that SERA would get defined, but at the same time, it is going to impact traffic for the town. Justin, I didn't get a chance to talk to you directly, but I did strategically for Middlesex County, because they are the ones who always say that the neighboring municipalities working together, we should involve. So we reached out to Middlesex County so that they can be the ones who get us together. But I think it is quite important that we look at the traffic circulation, because originally J Brown Road was going to run like the next to Route 9. Old Bridge has made a decision that they are not building J Brown Road. So now the traffic on that Old Bridge chemical property is going to direct on Browns Road onto Bordentown, or it will go on Waterworks Road and then go into Old Bridge. But there is a possibility, or there is a good chunk of traffic that might be direct. So I think SERA should have a say, especially the county should reach out to SERA. But I have initiated that.
Okay.
I will schedule a call with you next week so that I can go over the plans. There is a lot of public involvement in that plan. So it will be an interesting project.
So was the reason that open side,
It was because the federal government owns a property in the east side. And to construct J Brown Road, they have to transverse through the federal government site. We worked with them for almost 2 years. The appraisal that came up was quite high. The property is really not worth that much. And then there are residences also next to it. It would have been an ideal situation connected, but again, the price was important. And then the redeveloper who was committed to roadway improvements. It also turns out that White Oak Lane that goes to County Road 516 is more critical in terms of connection, and that is going to cost much more because DEP is requiring bridge, almost a bridge over there. So taking all that into consideration, Old Bridge had to drop out statute for this bill.
There was a federal government land on Cape Brown Road that I started working in 93, 95 sometimes. And they were finally ready to sell it. And the road was pulled the plug on. They're not buying it anymore. So now that road connection is.
Actually, it's not just that. I mean, that is one of the reasons. The other problem is that connection involves for the employee's property. So it is a weird configuration, but for the employee owns a property in Old Bridge, and which is their water reserve and water supply goes to all them was there. There is a long history that Old Bridge chemicals, the chemical plant contaminated the land, one for their noise, there's a lawsuit, and EPA is involved. So, but the boy is never going to give a piece of land to Old Bridge Chemicals because they're in a lawsuit and it's been there for last like 20, 30 years. So there is a lot more to it. So we tried, but because Old Bridge Chemicals they came back to us and said, okay, you try to get the land for the boy. And why would the township do that? It's going to get private developed. So there's a lot more.
Warehouses. Wait.
Executive Director.
Yeah.
Oh, alrighty. So with the Riverton update, I think Mark and Justin pretty much covered everything. I just want to reiterate that they are going to be having a hiring event June 24th and 25th at the Sheridan in Edison. They're going to post some of the career opportunities ahead of time on their website with the Riverton site listed specifically. And we'll share those links on the agency website once they become available. The Main Street revitalization, Justin covered most of that. I just want to point out the trash cans that were ordered. They are not wrapped yet. There's a handout, should be underneath the executive director's report. Once there's about an 8 to 10 week lead time on them. So once we receive them, then they will be wrapped with the logo. They have, we don't have to finalize this now, but Elise threw up a couple of options. If the front, if you want it brown, or if you wanted it colored blue and black or green or whatever color to differentiate the recycling and the trash cans. But this is the shape that she thought worked best for the space that they've identified. So those are in process.
How many drew?
There's 6 total. So it'll be 3 on each side between Washington and Parker.
Do we need to pick it or?
We can have discussions later. Like I said, there's an 8 to 10 week lead time. So if you want to decide now, or if you want to give it more
Steve?
thought.
Downtown expert, go ahead. Come
What am I
on.
supposed to decide between brown and blue? Or is that?
Brown and blue.
Black and blue.
Are these painted or?
So
it's a wrap?
they're going to be a steel shell, and then they're going to be wrapped.
Okay. I mean, I like the solid brown. But I get it, you wanna.
You want to separate the recycling.
Right.
Identify. So maybe we can keep the recycling as blue and then trash as a brown rather than black.
What about highlighting where it says the word recycle?
In a
What if
different
we just
color.
made that blue, kept trash brown? I think this is a little garish. Yeah, I think if we just put,
So the wording should be in color and the sign should be in color blue. On the
Or the arrow.
recycling.
You do the arrows blue?
Okay. So like the logo, maybe the logo and the word in a different color,
I
blue
don't think
or
the full
green.
rectangle should be.
Okay.
How much does it cost to raffle?
I'm not sure. Elise has a grant that's going to be funding most of this.
I'm just curious if. Well, that you get it for your way. It's not that much, close enough.
Yeah. Okay. I can ask.
How tall are these?
Sure, there are dimensions listed.
They're 35 by 35.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
it's on the bottom.
Oh,
Surface.
yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Well, We have,
That would be
direc-
my very minor suggestion.
Alrighty.
we have directions, okay.
Alrighty, and then the last update is just the riverfront bar and restaurant RFP. We're still in process about that. We've extended the deadline until August 3rd for responses. And then additionally, there are forms on all of your desks about the League of Municipalities. If you haven't completed that already and you're interested in going, please complete it and return it to Jamie as soon as possible.
And you give us some feedback about the responses, like, because you received 1 or 2, I think, at the last meeting, right?
We have 3 interested party talk to us, but nobody has completed form. I think the challenge is the development of the site. There's a local restaurant. We went back and forth. They said they talked to investor and others, but then didn't pursue that further. So, we're going out again. We'll continue. And with that, maybe we'll have to change it next. By fall, if we don't hear anybody, absolutely won't. Maybe we need to change a course about, development by the SERA and then hiring an operator.
Have you been, of the 3 people, were they restaurateurs or were they developers with construction experience?
They were all, pretty much all the restaurants, owners, operators. One is in South Amboy, has that kitchen, and they also have built and developed a similar facility in other places. So,
I think the hesitation that we've received is the initial capital expense of developing the property. It's a lot to take on. when opening a new restaurant, the restaurant industry is challenging as it is, and to outlay all that capital right away.
And is it all natural gas, electric needs to be brought in,
Yeah,
significant
the
paving?
utilities, I believe, are at the street, but
It might be worthwhile in the long run to try to put up the initial capital and get somebody to come in and eventually take it back.
Let's hope we get somebody to do it and we don't have to do it. But that may be an option, and from what I've learned, Carteret, Woodbridge, they have taken that approach. They build it and then they hire an operator. So obviously that will require us to issue debt, temporary debt, or permanent debt and operate, go through that route.
I think.
But I don't know if I'm ready to
Woodbridge
recommend that.
I think Woodbridge operates it themselves.
They may have recreational. I was told that they have an outsourced operation because of alcohol.
I think that
That
they have their own.
One thing
Operating
that you might want to think about is going to the NJEDA and asking them about the financial benefit of municipality taking on the infrastructure cost versus a private developer. Because they may be able to offset costs for us down the line. But I don't know their structure, this type of thing well enough to say, if a municipality does it, you're eligible for X. If a private developer does it, they're actually eligible for much more. You have to ask them. I think that's the kind of funding we would probably want to leverage.
Okay. We can talk to our assemblyman and senate.
that's all I have.
Um,
Just one comment, we had from here before, and you did mention that they're having their job fair. We took umbrage, just, quite a bit of it, because of the fact that job fair is located in Edison and not here in town. I don't know if they were necessarily as friendly as they normally are, but they had, it was quite a discussion yesterday, which was not very good on their part. Because of that. I don't know if they're going to correct it. They can't correct it now because they're having a job fair, but certainly, I think from everybody's perspective, we've done a great deal, obviously bring this in. And I think the first job fair should have been, at the very least, in the boroughs there.
We communicated with them.
More than Tom.
We communicated with them requesting that maybe something before that year, but the response is they're not ready for that. So hopefully in short future,
We're not ready.
they're not ready to take any actions between now and 24, 25. And so chairman is right. I mean, you look at it, this application, they called me last week requesting that, hey, can we add it after our procedure time closed? And we said, Bass Pro, this is an important project, bring it on. And we have done, I think, since I came in here about 3 or 4 times, added, we just did a wrap bonds approval for them. And then, having that response, the kind of response we saw and the action where nobody knew, and I'm not gonna say anything about River folks because they're claiming that they were surprised with the call. But I'm saying is that a communication gap is an issue now. If the Bass Pro is just doing things, they don't know, we don't. Just to be clear that we have not had direct communication or any conversation with Bass Pro or anybody. It's always through Riverton folks. And maybe, in the future, new development coming in, maybe we need to start taking an interest and have a meeting and communication. So we don't get surprised like this.
But we reached out with that.
We have not. Because there was a direct comments that it wouldn't be appropriate for us to reach out to Bass.
Yeah, but it seemed to me that Riverton was just as disappointed that they had the job fair with River.
Ken, that's the point, saying, there is a communication gap between Riverton and Bass Pro again. Yeah. How can there be, how can there be something on a fence, sign, and they don't know anything about it? So what kind of communication going on? I feel communication between SERA and any sublease, ultimately, we approve those sublease, is lacking. So maybe we're gonna internally talk about it and start initiate, saying we need to start meeting with every sublease coming in, direct contact with Sarah. Yeah. The next approval, we'll have to put those conditions.
And I find it hard to believe that they.
Over a year ago, they reached out, Bass Pro reached out to the college, to my office, and wanted to hold it at the college, but we didn't have the space largely.
Surprisingly, in the communication chain, county, yeah, they're involved in communication. Just the town, nobody, no chairman, no mayor, no business. Yeah,
If anybody reached out, 6 count.
this is just, like a few days back, and we're not sure what.
Well, if they suggested there should have been a communication that's there, well, actually, that would even be even worse, more poor taste. You know that the mayor
Once
sent a
school
pretty.
was out, they could have had it at Sterile High School.
We could have it here, we could have it, we could arrange, we would have done bend over backward to arrange for their HR to come here.
Ship hasn't sailed, you still got 2 weeks. Pick up the phone, blow the phone up. I'm gonna make calls tonight on the way home. You're not happy, you gotta, I'm an asshole.
But we will be promoting that on our website, because we want Sayreville residents to get, gaining access. That's it.
Nice to see that you're on the agenda.
Thank you. I think you like the last 2 meetings, so I appreciate that. Good evening, commissioners. Been doing a lot of podcasting, filming lately, editing. We have Mike and John's episode down to 3 separate parts. One of them has been published to YouTube and to website and posted on Facebook as well. The other 2 were. I think we're at 14 right now. That was out of like 2 or 3 days ago.
I thought it was gonna be negative, so that's pretty good.
If I had service, I'd be able to tell you. But I can't get on Wi-Fi and I have 1 bar in here. So the other 2 episodes, just in the process of making images to go along with what you're saying, just to cover your face up, because I know you're self-conscious about that last time. Joe,
I complained that I was seated, so don't put this in the minutes, but my belly was down.
you did make a comment,
It's all over the table.
So, no, I was joking on that end. But yes, that'll be done hopefully shortly. There was an episode that was filmed, I believe, last week. John and a representative from JCP&L, the electric company that serves Sayreville, that went really well. That ended up being a 50-minute plus conversation. So that there were some issues with the audio that I worked on, and the first part of that is privately listed on YouTube with their approval, with John's approval. It will be published as soon as that happens. The second part is also being worked on as well. Again, images are in the process of being created for that, and pretty much it on that end. Social media, Facebook posts are going up, Instagram posts also, as well as articles on the website too. So
Kevin had done with the mayor
that's right.
and Ela,
That is
the restaurant.
Yes.
And that gave me an idea that we should start, having that, broadcasting our local restaurant. Some of these restaurants, they really have, we can create some videos and promote those.
So that was last week. We also, busy week last week. We filmed at our good restaurant called Latin Court. It is on Ernstone Road across from mini mart over there that has pizza place, like store pharmacy. Great, it's called Latin Port. There's one in Metuchen, that's the original one. It's across from Metuchen Diner off of 27 over there. Into that one. That's it. It's good, very good. Same owner, same place. I went in there over a year ago, because he got a flyer and he said, interesting. So he went there, ate there, told her she should open up in Saraville. A year later, he received the flyer in his mail saying that's open in Saraville. So he went there, and I said, well, why'd you come to Saraville? And she said, well, you told me to. So, little good story to go along with that. So the mayor, as well as the president of the board of Ed, Eloy Hernandez, I believe, yes, he was a part of it. With the owner, they sat down, they, answered questions about it, all the food and the story of the mayor, I'm sorry, of the restaurant owner coming to Saraville, and Eloy and the owner, both spoke in Spanish as well, so it was probably the first ever podcast, in Saraville history that was, bilingual. So, that'll be out shortly as well. It's called Latin Port. So it's like a cafeteria restaurant where all the food is pre-made. You can go up, they have it all heated up. I had pork belly, which was really good. Beans, rice, everything else. Just why I bring your own. BYOB as well. So you're not a person. Well, listen, I'm a pork belly fan. They also had beer, which was good. So you're allowed to taste everything before you choose what you want. So the plate I got, which was one meat, I think 2 sides or something like that, it was $17. If you get 2 meats and 2 sides, it's like $18. So it's pretty good for what you get, and they give you big portions.
We want to go around and have a restaurant. We have several good restaurants in town.
I like it.
We have the Japanese steak, hibachi place in town.
Yeah.
We have, the Million, on Washington Road. We have Bombay Talk at the Route 9 corner. So we have some varieties of restaurants.
Colombian Steakhouse.
Huh?
The Colombian Steakhouse.
Columbia Steakhouse, that's Million.
Yeah.
They have two locations.
Yeah, they have one in shopping center.
And we got two.
Hmm?
We got the one on Main Street and the one by.
We have a Thai restaurant down.
Yeah, so those two are approved.
So we're gonna go around and try to create videos and post that on our website to help promote those businesses. And any other businesses that we come across, we will try.
That's all.
Remember, I'm still looking for part-time person to, haven't been successful, but it would be a good idea, we get somebody who can hold hands with all of our existing business and all new businesses, help them through the process.
Yeah.
If anybody knows anybody in a real estate, retired, planning business, that's what I'm thinking will be an appropriate person.
I know that this year's budget cycle is very difficult in the borough, but I wonder moving forward, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do a shared service where you have a full-time person that's working both for the borough and for SERA, because in essence, it's really connecting both the same thing, right? It's connecting the borough and bringing in discussions for our
If
business.
it's possible,
So maybe a full-time position may be more viable as well.
Yeah.
And just getting back to Kevin on the original podcast that Mike and the whole purpose of what Mike and I were doing, where it was the idea of demystifying what the redevelopment process is all. Because I mean, how many times do you have someone go, I don't get it, or why is this the way it is, or oh, you guys are doing things in the dark. And in all actuality, that's not the case. But I do understand when sometimes someone says, I heard about this. Well, we had public meetings and everything else. If we kind of can demystify what this whole process is about, how many different boards are involved, and the actual transparency that goes through this, I think that would go a long way as well. Mike's already hiring an agent, so hopefully.
After I got a personal trainer to take care of it.
Part 2 of that will be about pilots, and the redevelopment process itself. So that itself is a 20-minute conversation. So.
And it's a big conversation.
It is a big conversation. The first part was 8 minutes, and then the last part will probably be about that. So we're almost there.
Good. Thanks, Joe. Everybody has all commissioners.
That's,
completed?
we have Commissioner Fisher, was unable to make it today. Commissioner Roberts is away. Commissioner Davis will probably do after this. And then we'll have everyone.
Okay, good, appreciate it. All right, on to authorization for payment of bills. We have a total amount of $193,191.41, which breaks down to operating total of $175,073.25, and escrow total of $18,118.16.
I make a motion.
Right, second. Awful.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
We've already approved the resolution, so we have to move on to commissioner comments. And just one comment is, if everybody was intending on going to see the Bon Jovi tribute, it's been rescheduled, so you can go next Wednesday, right? So actually, it's a good thing.
Yep.
Some of us might have wanted to attend.
Yeah, I was gonna go right after this, so
Yeah.
I don't have to rush out. We can talk.
That was my plan tonight.
Is that your plan?
I told my wife, I am not sitting in a park in this heat, not doing it. So
The sun went down.
doesn't matter. 99 degrees today. No way to go outside.
So hopefully next Wednesday, we'll, I think that was part of our report, but we're hoping as well. Any other comments for next week? Yeah. Oh, yes. Next week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But not Wednesday, Thursday, right?
It's Thursday.
Let's see, open up to the public. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Keep up this meeting as organized as possible. We ask members of the public to approach, state your name, and strive to limit your comments to 5 minutes. All comments this evening should refer to the redevelopment and agenda items per NJSA 10-4-12A and the Cerebral Economic and Redevelopment Agency's rules. In the event a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made during regular business hours with the agency's office.
Anybody from the public wish to speak? Anybody from the public wish to speak? One last time, anybody from the public? Can I get a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
You should change it. Does anybody in the public want to attend?
Well,
We gotta get to attend before we get to speak.
you know, maybe with the podcast and everything else, maybe we'll get some folks to actually tune in. Should be, which would be great. I think it would. You're gonna talk about it.
No, it's been recorded already, that the final part of the episode. The discussion between Mike and John. So that's the next part that's coming out.
Good.
Is there a need for executive session? No. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Aye.
All in favor? Opposed? Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Board of it.